Happy Friday. This is June 14th, and this is Astro Podcast, and I am Jody Shirami. This is a weekly astrology podcast that I do, and I like to call myself Astrology Mama. If you're new here, welcome. I hope you come back. Today, we're talking about the rest of the season for me, since I'm taking my summer hiatus per usual. I will be back at the beginning of fall equinox around September 21st or 22nd. So please take care until then and keep looking for these updates, as I will talk to you now about some things happening next weekend when there is a full moon in Capricorn. There will be another full moon during this Cancer season on July 21st, which promises big things. So here we are looking at the full moon in Capricorn, and this is for June 21st, 2024 Eastern Time at 9 p.m. So here's the full moon right here at 1 degrees and 7 minutes of Capricorn, and it is exactly opposite the sun in Cancer at 1 degrees and 7 minutes. This is a perfect conjunction. So this is how full moons form when the moon is looking at the sun and the sun is shining brightly on it. So the moon looks super big and full. As you can see, there's a bunch of stuff happening on this side over here, and not much going on over here. So that's something to think about. Look at all this stuff happening over here. Pluto is now moved back to 1 degrees and 34 minutes. Saturn is starting to slow down as it prepares to retrograde at 19 degrees and 23 minutes. At the end of the month, this will go retrograde. And Neptune is also preparing for a little bit of a retrograde at 29 degrees and 54 minutes. When it gets to 56 minutes, 29 degrees and 56 minutes, it will begin its nap. And here's the North Node at 12 degrees and 13 minutes hanging out in Aries for another year. And here we have Mars recently entered. Remember last week on Thursday, I believe, Mars entered Taurus. Now it's at 9 degrees and 28 minutes. And Uranus is at 25 degrees and 18 minutes in Taurus, where it's hanging out. And here's Jupiter at 6 degrees and 15 minutes, recently entered Gemini last month. And it's already at 6 degrees because it only stays in a sign for 1 year. So here we go with this trifecta happening over here. We got the moon over here in Capricorn, checking in to see the progress of these people here. What have you guys been working on? Now I know you're getting ready to take your break. What have you got going on? Have you done the dishes? Have you packed away your winter clothing? Bring out your summer clothing? Have you switched things around before you go on vacation or whatever you're doing before you check out? So that's what's happening here with this full moon in Capricorn. And Capricorn full moon is going to be occurring again at the end of the month. So right now it's at 1 degrees and 7 minutes. But by the end of July 21st, exactly a month away from June 21st, it's going to be over here at 29 degrees and meeting up with Pluto, as Pluto is at 1 degrees now in 34 minutes. By the time this starts to occur, Jupiter's going to be, Pluto will be almost back into Capricorn, where it's retrograding at September 1st. It will be back at 29 degrees of Capricorn. So things are heating up. All this started with the Jupiter and Uranus conjoining on April 20th, 420. That was a big day, big week. So now everything's activated, moving along. And as you can see, Uranus here is having a nice meeting with the full moon in Capricorn. And Uranus rolls over Aquarius, where Pluto is hanging out. So there's a lot of stuff happening, but the outer planets activated. And you can see in this full moon that some stuff's going on right here. The full moon, the opposition right here. And then from the sun in Cancer will be in a square to Neptune in Neptune at 29 degrees and 54 minutes. These are the critical degrees that when these outer planets hang out at, they're much more powerful because they hang out there for a long time. And as she's preparing to take a nap, it's even more powerful when they're stationary. Like Pluto right now is super powerful when somebody runs up to Pluto. It's like, oh my God, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to run into you and hurt myself. That's what that happens. And here also, the full moon in Capricorn is also in a square to Neptune. So Neptune again is about illusion, about relaxing, about dreaming, about fantasy. And Capricorn is not about that. Capricorn is about pragmatism. But the sun is about work also, but also relaxing and hanging out with family. So we have a little bit of a triangle here happening where energy is moving around, but not too well. So we're getting ready to really hit on the theme of discordance amongst people. Because again, outer planet, Neptune involved, the sun's involved, and then a personal planet that affects the collective at the same time is involved. I expect that this full moon in Capricorn is going to be quite reactive because a couple of days before that, over here, Mars, right here, Mars is going to run into Uranus. They're going to meet up on July 15th. So after this full moon in Capricorn on June 21st, then on 7/21st, another full moon is going to be over here, 29 degrees. So that is framed in June through July. So all this energy that you see right here is going to still be there as this shifts over. It's going to be a residue of it. You're going to feel it because Pluto's moving backwards. So everything Pluto does right now will make you feel like you're stuck in quicksand. And the more you fight it, the harder it is to get out. The best thing to do is be calm, relax, clear your mind. You can't affect a lot of the things out there besides voting for your representative to do the right thing for you. And that would be a good way to know at least you tried to help things be different, right? Whatever way that you feel that you need to. But going to extremes would be very, very attractive to people right now who want to be crazy and do crazy things. So Mars here is really moving quickly through Taurus, where Taurus doesn't like to move around and do much. So there's an energy there that is not very fluid because it's a fixed sign. And as it gets closer to Uranus right here and meet conjunct on that day I had just spoken of, 7/21. That day I just spoke of, 7/21. It's going to be explosive, hot, hot energy here. Ooh, heat. So, and then on July 21st, when there's the next full moon I just spoke about, we're going to feel like we're stuck in time and that same things are happening over and over again, especially when we meet up with Pluto, because Pluto's moving backwards. So we're going to really feel like, oh my gosh, doesn't seem like anything. I love you. Doesn't seem like anything I do. I'm recording right now. So it just seems like, everything you do, doesn't help. And by then, the sun here will be over here to give it the full moon reflection over here, right? So the sun's going to be here getting ready to get into Leo. And then stubbornness will reign because Leo is a stubborn sign. It's a fixed sign like Taurus. But the real problem really around the next full moon in Capricorn is the moon and Pluto meeting up here. And as you can see, Pluto will be opposing these other signs. And that is going to affect us personally and collectively. Because here, as you can see, is Venus and Mercury. And they're going to have an opposition here. But really the problem is this red line here to Neptune. All the astrologers are saying how this is going to throw unexpected energy that may not be great energy, because these are both water signs, and so emotional and being deceived could play in, so that would not be good for us. And we're in the sign of Cancer, the sign of the mother, so it will probably affect the home, and Cancer deals with the breasts. In practical terms, these are some things that could be happening to you. Things could creep up, you don't know what's going on. And with that in play until 7/21, with this 2 full moons culminating at the same time here, in Capricorn. Capricorn again is about structure, family, tradition, which Cancer also is about that. They're opposite in the way that Cancer is much more emotional and caring and can express it, whereas Capricorn is more serious and practical and needs to pay the rent. We know that, so Capricorn doesn't fool themselves with not paying the rent. And so that can clash sometimes with the whole, overspending on furniture or food, or, enjoying the comforts of home a little too much. Like right now, people would rather work remotely than in the office, traditionally where Capricorn would work, right? So now they have a compromise going with Neptune. And Neptune says, okay, part-time here, part-time there, and Saturn agrees with that, because Saturn is very flexible here in Neptune. In Pisces, excuse me. So we're dealing with a bunch of changes, but again, the 15th, and this meeting up. Right here, Mars meeting up with Uranus. Right here is going to lead us into here. And then Pluto's going to get involved. Kaboom! So, a lot of unstable energy coming into the summer months as the outer planets begin their retrograde, as Pluto has already. And soon it will be Saturn, then Neptune. So like I said, if they're retrograde, they're super powerful. When you go up and talk to them, they don't want to be bothered. It's like running up there and trying to bother a lion who's trying to eat or sleep. You don't do that, right? Same with the bull. Don't run up in front of the bull with anything red. As you saw the other day, I don't know if you guys did, but a bull jumped out of the stadium at a rodeo show and bowled into people with his horns and just threw them up in the air and just wanted to run back into his pen, back to his comfort home. Because as you know, a lot of time bulls are slaughtered after a bullfight or whatever's going on, or studded out. So I don't know if this young bull knew what was going on and said, I just want to get back home with my family, eat some hay, and not be out here with you guys singing God Bless America, because I don't see it that way. So, it's just very interesting that animals are acting out, and a lot of animals in Neptune and Pisces here with Saturn are really acting out. Shark attacks, just things happening in the water, submarines sinking, warships in Cuba, all the supply chain disruption, especially during COVID. All on Neptune was here. And Neptune being at the anaretic degree, when she runs up against you here, like with Venus and Mercury in Cancer, we have to really be careful we're not getting scammed with money, possessions, love, vacation trips, hotels, especially if they have to do with on the water. Be very mindful of that. Since Saturn's also here, Saturn kind of keeps an eye on it, but Saturn is also beginning to slow down, and the things Saturn might show now is what's wrong, not really, oh look, you can fix it. It's maybe too late with Pisces at this anaretic degree. And Pluto also getting ready to move back into an anaretic degree. And Uranus is moving towards being at an anaretic degree next year. And that's going to be super powerful when Uranus meets up with, I believe, Jupiter is going to be retrograde, moving back. So there's a lot happening, and really, it's crazy. And these green ones here from Pluto to Uranus and Jupiter, that is a collective transit that affects us all collectively. So how do we feel that? We feel that in our everyday life in terms of work, electronics, and Pluto helping you to end something that you've been wanting to end through electronics or learning, education from Jupiter, maybe inheriting money, because it's Gemini and Taurus. Taurus is about goods, things we need, and Jupiter in Gemini is about learning, people, groups. So here we have good luck in these things, depending on your degrees are, but collectively we have a chance to really talk with each other and share ideas. And with Mercury over here in Cancer, though, we may talk slower and not come across as quickly as we might want, and then we might run out of things to say. Like I'm starting to run out of things to say right now. So today's June the 14th, and this weekend itself is a big deal in terms of moons moving around and causing aspects that are going to really surprise us as the week goes on. So be very careful as we head into July, and I will try to bring some more updates. Please keep an eye out for my updates. They will be on my Twitter page, which is @JodieBoots. Also on my Instagram page, which is astropod_cast. And around those specific days I've already spoken about, I will be coming back to tell you that Mercury and Venus are shifting into Cancer this week. So get ready to slow down and enjoy being nurtured and being loved, and hopefully no fights in the family with the full moon coming up 2 times this Cancer season. God bless you. Bye-bye. Peace.